it's not entirely true in terms of the other intangibles when it comes to the game. Now, let me say this, man. This isn't any type of LeBron this video and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you trying to make it out to be like that, because I know there's a lot of LeBron fanatics or LeBron sexuals, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys out there that really don't know how to be objective. Me on this channel, man, I'm objective. Yes, and I'm gonna talk about Russell Westbrook. I wanted to save Russell Westbrook for last. Being that Russell Westbrook is my favorite player, he still gets the smoke regardless. Okay. Now, just to give you an idea of some of the players that still played even above 35 and still were able to make a solid contribution, not just from a scoring standpoint, but we also have to look at it from the other intangibles. I'm gonna go through some of those guys, but check this out, man. This is what I think LeBron should do. This is just my personal opinion. If LeBron was able to focus more on the other intangibles and not focus so much on scoring, because pretty much everybody is looking at him to get the record. Which how can you blame him? You chasing the top scorer of all time in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's a wonderful accomplishment. But at the same token, we still have to realize that we still have a franchise here that has high expectations. If he was to focus on just the intangibles, like the the defensive part of the ball, or the defensive side of the ball, uh, more, you know, I know some people don't might disagree with it. Even sacrificing your body a little bit more, doing some other candid things on the court at this point in time that's not really seen. I think that it would help a lot more than be. What's up with it, Matt? I see you in the building. I think it would help a lot more than him just putting up 30 something points or whatnot, because the points aren't really, they're not bombastic, they're not so impactful as opposed to him doing some things that don't even show up on the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? And look, that's not a knock on him. It's just that, okay, he's scoring and everything. But I think if other guys would see LeBron, okay, he's doing this and he's diving in, for loose balls, or he's covering multiple guys and everything. Even though you have to understand that this guy is 36, 37 years old. Just the fact that he's still even just running up and down the court is a blessing. But people still hold you to the same standard. You say it's over for Brian. All the fake Laker fans can leave with them. Now, look, let me go through some of the players that I think some people tend to forget that played at a high level. How can you forget about, of course, John Stockton? He was still playing great defense at the age of 40. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 40, he was still playing great defense. Um, David Robinson, you know what I'm saying? When he had that knee injury that had taken place, he had to take a step back to Tim Duncan, of course. And guess what? He was still able to be solid and still do his thing, even at the age of 36 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I think only Ben Wallace had a lower defensive rating than Robinson. and that was 94.9 points per 100%, 100 possessions. At 36, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, how can you forget? Because he played up until I think he was 37. You know what I'm saying? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 38 years old, he was still able to be a defensive, do some stuff that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. Uh, Tim Duncan, 38 years old, still able to go out there and still be, you know, hustling, fighting, doing everything he can, and taking a back seat in terms of his scoring. Okay. Now, a lot of y'all don't remember, but John Havlicek, he played above 35, and you know people forget that John Havlicek was a part of what he was part of the when he was playing uh, in the '60s. With players such as sorry about that, because I think he was 75. He was like 70. He was 36 playing in 75 and 76. And this was like he was still able to get two titles even at the age of 36 and still was able to make a contribution. Not necessarily being the main guy, but you know what? He still put up some good numbers at 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. Some people might look at that and they might say, "Oh, well, that's not big numbers." I mean, for 36 at that time, yeah, it was. And on top of that, given that he was he was coming off the bench. Robert Parrish, how can you forget about Robert Parrish, the Chief? He was 30. He played above 35, and on top of that, he was playing. He appeared. The only other players that were played more games than Robert Parrish were Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Vince Carter, and he appeared in I think it was 670 regular season games. But the thing about it is that um, he was able to be second to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in blocks and six in steals, even as an old man. You know what I'm saying? He played 21 seasons in the league. Now, okay, was he out there on the floor as much as LeBron? No, but he played up until the age of 43. That's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? We look at even Udonis Haslem being out there at 41 years old. And some people they're like, wow, 41, he should retire, but some guys don't. Reggie Miller, that's another guy. Reggie Miller was still averaging 18.9 at 35 years old. And see, another thing is that Reggie actually did a better job defensively as he got older. I think some people forget that. Yeah, and if you go back and you go look at his shot percentage was low. I think he shot like 32% his last season. But that's because he wanted to commit to the defensive end. And then of course it was John Stockton. I had already mentioned him, but he was 38 years old, uh, playing in the 2001 season, you know, and John Stockton, he led the league in uh, assist percentage at 48.7. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy was still a defensive, a solid defender too at 38 years old. So it's not just all about the scoring, is what I'm saying. Um, Then you also got to look at, like I'd already talked about Tim Duncan. You know, Tim Duncan was going through the similar stages that David Robinson did. You know, and guess who took a back seat to Tim Duncan? It was David Robinson. Karl Malone. Karl Malone was 39 years old. You know, still able to put up. I think he was playing. He put up 20.6 points per game. But you know, at the same token, 39 years old, man, still putting up numbers and still, okay, he wasn't the best. He wasn't like no lockdown defender, but at the same token, he was still able to grab rebounds at that older age. You know what I'm saying? Which takes a lot of out of you, man, when you talk about from an energy standpoint. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to think, man. Who else was? Those are just some of the guys, man, that we gotta stop. The reason why I'm mentioning this, man, is because you know when we talk about, oh yeah, well, nah, they're old and that age stuff ain't got nothing to do with it. Because look, Dirk was 35. He was 35 still playing. And guess what? He was in the 50-40-90 club. However, we're talking about defense though. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an example. Dirk still stayed out there. He did what he could on defense, but he wasn't known as no defender. But when they won that championship, with the Mavericks a few years prior, whatnot, um, they were older, but they all committed to defense, and they put their egos aside. They could have been like, you know what? No, no, I still want to do it. No, they knew what the common goal was. They knew what the common goal was. So my thing is this. Be like a guy. Like I know it's a rarity that people can do it, but you got to be like a guy that really doesn't really care about scoring or about the other things at this stage of the game. Yes, he's the marquee player. People put their life savings up just to go see a guy like LeBron, which I understand that. But at the same token, right now, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do everything that I can if it means me diving in the stands, doing everything that I can, just so that I can, make my presence felt out there in other ways. We know that you can score. We know that you're gonna get your buckets. But now, if you put that energy into other intangibles on the floor, just like those other players did, man, you'll be surprised at what could take place. You know, is he the same LeBron that was in Miami as far as a defender? No, he's not. He's not. But effort effort is better than nothing. Because these guys are getting, and it's not just LeBron that's getting killed defensively. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's everybody. It's collective as a whole. But he is seen as that guy. He's seen as that leader on the team. So if they see you doing it, they see you out there hustling. They see you out there diving for loose balls. They see you out there. You know what I'm saying? Committing. Playing help D, doing whatever the case is. They're gonna fall in line. They're definitely gonna fall in line. So that's my take on it. You know what I'm saying? I disagree with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe always feels that, LeBron can do no wrong. Now he's criticized him a little bit, has to play lockdown defense at age 37. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I said. If you go back and you go listen, I said you do what you can. And I just said that. I said, will he be the defender that he was in Miami? I said no, he won't. But him, listen, I put to you like this. Dennis Rodman was, he was still energetic and all this other stuff. But if you go back and you go look at the documentary, guess who was motivated by Dennis Rodman in the workouts? It was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And Dennis Rodman was one of the oldest on the team. He was older than Scottie and Michael. He was like 30, 38 or something like that. But he was still beating everybody in the drills. So you don't know that can motivate you. I'm not saying he has to go out there and be a lockdown defender. That's not what I'm saying, Dejan. But what I am telling you is that him going out there and at least okay, putting forth the effort and all this other stuff. Not saying that he's not, but even just okay, you know what, 20 points is fine for me. Let me do some other things. Everybody else will fall in line with that. But it's other people that probably feel the way that Shannon and Sharpe feel. Oh, LeBron could do no wrong. LeBron could do no wrong. That's not the case with me, you know, because when Kobe wasn't doing right, or when the team wasn't doing right, guess who they looked at? They criticized Kobe. He got the butt of the criticism. When stuff wasn't going right with the Showtime Lakers, guess who got the butt of the criticism? It was Magic and Kareem. So yeah, no, I'm not saying that he has to be, and he won't be. He's probably, with all the mileage that he has on his body and stuff like that, and as well as stuff going off the floor and everything like that. Of course, he's not going to be, that lockdown guy that you want him to be in Miami, or at the early stages of his career. But at the same token, effort is everything. Effort is everything, and it can't just be LeBron. Like I said, it's got to be everybody. It's also got to be And I'm gonna save this for another video. Yes, I'm gonna talk about Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Because he got to get the smoke too. I'm just gonna talk about that later. You know, so y'all let me know what you think, man. Um, Leave your comments, like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. I'll get at you later.